Welcome back everyone, and welcome to the Arctic Circle.
So we built this van specifically to get us here, and even though there's been some bumps along the road, we've made it.
Well, we thought we were quite well prepared for this trip, but we realised quickly when we stepped out into -25 the first time that nothing can prepare you for this. How anything survives in this untamed and unforgiving environment absolutely blows our minds. The cold cuts through you like it's grabbing at your soul, but it's indescribably beautiful.
Morning everyone, and welcome back.
Morning everybody.
So if you don't know where the Arctic is, because I didn't until Jess explained it to me, basically it's a line that runs around the top of the Earth, and it marks the point where one day of the year the sun doesn't rise and one day of the year the sun doesn't set. And I tell you what a crazy place it is. So Jess has brought us to another one of her best places in the world again. So let's hope it's a bit better than the Atlantic Road we did the other day anyway.
That was a bit of a letdown. So I've brought us to the Saltströmmen Maelstrom, which is the strongest tidal current in the world. This little strait behind me has 400 million cubic metres of water pass through it every 6 hours, and it causes the tide to run at 37 kilometres per hour and makes whirlpools up to 10 metres wide and 5 metres deep at the middle of the vortex. How cool is that? Well, it's not at its strongest today, but it's still a pretty impressive natural phenomenon, and if you're a nerd like me, you'll definitely enjoy it. But even if you're not, you'll enjoy it for these incredible views. I've got some bad news. Car's playing up again. John's tried the magic fix. It's not happening, is it, love?
Nightmare.
So I've got a bit of an update for you. Fortunately, we're only half an hour away from a big city. So I had a bit of a ring around and I managed to find a place who said they could fit us in straight away. We got here and it's actually an auto-tuning place, but the bloke is an absolute legend. So he's out there with John now, working their magic, so cross all your fingers for us, they can fix it, and it's not too expensive.
Well, what another day.
I tell you what, this debriefing malarkey is becoming far too frequent an occurrence for my liking.
But fingers crossed the old girl's fixed anyway. So remember last week I had that math sensor issue? Well, I tried the same thing this time, cleaned it all up, put it back together, no joy. Tried unplugging it, still no joy. So, but for some stroke of luck, we rung this bloke today, Martin, and he's an absolute diamond. So he dropped everything to help us, and basically what it was the EGR valve was at fault. So he's deleted it on the system so it doesn't think it's got one anymore, and we've blanked off the EGR valve with a plate as well. So that's fixed it. Whilst he was there, he did an engine tune on it as well, and he only charges 270 quid for the whole lot as well. So
Martin, you are our absolute hero. Thank you so much. We cannot say how grateful we are. But it is now 11 o'clock, so I think we'd be best off to bed, and we'll see you in the morning.
good morning everyone. The Queen has spoken. She wants some breakfast, so I said I'd do it for her. So are you ready for some more of my expertise chef skills? you go, my dear.
Thank you, my love. Tours and cooking with John's improving. Might mention though, first time in 13 years he's made me breakfast.
Well, I tell you what, this cooking lark is well easy. I might have to do some more of this. But now I've got the old merch sorted, I was thinking about my next little project, and another thing YouTubers do is the old cookbook. So I was thinking about doing one of them.
Yes, love. I can see the money just rolling in.
Yeah? I could call it Feasts for the Beast.
So today we're off to the Lofoten Islands, but before we catch the ferry, we've got a couple of little jobs to do. Would you believe that it's only 2 o'clock in the afternoon and it's this dark? It's just crazy, isn't it?
Well, I'll tell you what, they've got a good little sled selection here anyway, and these are 3 of our favourites. So we've seen loads of these about, and what they do is just hold on to them, sit on the bum, and off they go. For the toddlers, these are. You've got the beauty little steerer. I want one of them, but they're not too cheap. And then these seem to be a fan favourite as well. And I've never seen any like this before, but it's just like PVC tarp with like a cushion in the middle. Brilliant. Something tells me they go through a lot of snow shovels here.
God help me, he's found the tool section.
I haven't got any black ones.
Put them back now.
Got a log splitter. Log splitter. Well, we didn't get any tools, but we got what we came for anyway. The old code reader for the Sprinter, so hopefully that means we won't need it for the rest of the trip anyway.
Don't lie, you're like a kid in a bloody candy shop in there.
Snow blowers, log splitters, they had everything in there. Absolutely brilliant.
I had to follow him around like a mum, telling him to stop touching everything and to put things down.
Love touching things.
Including my last nerve. Well, here we go. Fingers crossed, no puking. 3 hours this bad boy.
So the old general was getting a bit too confident on these ferries. She's gone to check out the old dinner menu. But this is how confident and tight she is. She said if it's too expensive, she's not getting it in case she throws it up afterwards. Well, she made it anyway.
I tell you what, it is lucky I didn't listen to that false confidence and try that food earlier.
The first time we ever did a trip together, we went to Vietnam, and Jess was sick on the plane the whole journey, eh?
So, what did he do to be sympathetic? Oh yeah, he filmed it and laughed at me. I should have known. We'd only been together about 4 months. Freedom! We made it, baby. Welcome to the Lofoten Islands. Oh, and it's snowing. What a spot. Let's go check out the Lofoten Islands. So our first stop is a little town called Or, which is just an A with a circle at the top, and it's actually the last letter of the Norwegian alphabet, which is fitting because we're at the bottom of the Lofoten Islands. If you don't know, the Lofoten Islands are a bunch of islands off the west coast of Norway, and they're all joined by bridges, so you can drive from the bottom to the top. This place came into being because it's a huge cod fishing area, and every winter the cod come here to spawn. It's also super famous for all of these red buildings you can see around me, and the reason they're red is they used to put copper into the paint to paint on to help protect them from the harsh winter weather. It was too good to be true, wasn't it, boy?
We broke down again, and this time it's bad. Engine won't even start now. So we got an engine management light come on again, and we pulled over, tried to clear the codes, went to start it again, now it won't start, and now it's throwing loads of fault codes up for all different sensors. So normally when that's the case, like, all the sensors will probably share an earth. So there must be a broken wire in the earth somewhere, or it's chafing or something like that, and that's why it won't start. So
we've got a lot of wire chasing to do.
Yeah, but the thing is, there's that many, you just stroke of luck if we find it, really, but I think it's going to be a recovery job anyway.
Well, our biggest problem is we're in the middle of nowhere, there's no solar, and our batteries won't last too long without a BTV, will they?
Yeah, obviously we can't charge it, we can't start the engine to charge the leisure batteries, and obviously we get 2 hours of sunlight, so the solar's not going to do anything. So we're literally going to probably have tonight where we can make a decision what we want to do, and then it's
get
flat
away.
batteries, yeah. So. She's running, boy! She's running. A bit of easy start to the rescue. I'll tell you what's going on. Well, I fixed it.
How? You don't even know how you fixed it.
But I haven't fixed it. So I checked fuses, checked wiring, checked all sorts, and I've been racking my brains what to check and everything. And I thought I'll do the good old fashioned, put a bit of easy start down it just to make sure it cranks and it fires. So I put a bit down, it fired. Alright, we got compression, the engine's good, which I thought it's got to be electrical. So I said to Jess, just give it one more go. We haven't got easy start, by the way, use a bit of WD-40, but that'll do. WD-40, WD-40 to the rescue.
Again.
So anyways, it cranks up and now it's running. But the worst thing is the engine management light's still on.
What the hell do we do now?
Yeah, what do we do? Like, we was just thinking, like, oh, I don't know. But anyway, we're going to drive somewhere, so we're at least on a bit of flat because the angle of it's like this, and oh my god.
Yeah, shall I put the camera actually square for people to see? There you go, that's what it's like.
Let's go somewhere.
She might be going, but she's not going well.
Running like a bag of
Well, welcome to luxury campsite a la garage. The old girl made it. Bad news is that it's Saturday afternoon and these guys don't open until Monday. So we're gonna have to wait till then to see if they can even fit us in. But the good news is that she's running all right at idle. So that means that we can charge our batteries and live in the van just fine. And we've got plenty of fuel as well, so heating's not a problem. John needs to get on with some research and see if he can figure out a bit of a fix, and I need to do some comments. So we'll catch up with you guys in the morning. Well, good morning everybody. We've woken up this morning to a grey, grim old day. Good news is it's 2 degrees, but the bad news is it's rained all night and it hasn't melted the ice. Oh no, 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 it's just covered it in a giant puddle. So it could be an interesting day.
You need to play the sexy music to this as well. When do I speak? What do you reckon? Looking pretty fashionable, eh? So
sexy, baby.
It's a good job I bought a pair of overalls and my old man's waterproofs to try and fix this, because it's a rainy old day and I think I'm going to get wet. See if we can fix it. Well, it's fixed. I don't know how, and I don't know for how long. So we put a post up on Instagram last night.
And Facebook.
And we asked any Sprinter techs out there, or any mechanics, or anyone that could help. And unbelievable how much feedback we got from that. So thanks very much. So I wrote a list down of everything everyone's suggesting, and obviously all my own thoughts as well, and everything like that. Went in there this morning with a big plan of what to do. Went in there, cleared the codes, started up straight away, didn't come back on. No engine management light, runs sweet as a nut. You can't really fix a fault if it's not there. So, like, as every mechanic knows, it's the worst thing. And I could go in there now and start ripping plugs off, spraying plugs, like stripping wiring looms and things like that. But I could end up making it worse because I could do more harm than good. Because
you could break something that wasn't already broken.
Yeah, like a pin, or like I say, stripping wiring looms is an absolute nightmare. It never goes back to the way it is. And like I say, how far do I go? There's so many components and so many things like that. So yeah, I don't really want to get steamed in. I'm going to look for some basic things like I did yesterday, just to see if I can see anything obvious. But like I say, it's fixed, and but how long for? So
Yeah.
I don't know.
And
then,
I don't really feel comfortable kind of driving out into the wilds of the Arctic with a van that's questionable.
and I know there'll be plenty of like
Oh.
couch warriors going, oh, I told you what to do, I told you this, I told you that. It's always nice in hindsight, but yeah.
We just have to try and figure out what on earth we want to do, and yeah, we have no idea.
Yeah. So we've come for a bit of a drive, and the good news is the lights come back on again. But I can clear it on the code scanner and it'll go, and then a couple of minutes later it'll come back, which I know seems strange that I'm saying it's good news, but then at least I can now start ruling things out, and if it clears, I know I've found the issue. Or, like I say, if we take it to a garage, because I'm thinking about biting the bullet and going to Mercedes, so we'll see.
Today's not improving. We're stuck.
We're just sliding back down the old ice rink.
Oh my God, John, look at that.
Looks like the old chains are going on.
Be careful, darling.
It's a good job I practiced this a few times.
Believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, it gets worse. What's happened, love?
We've got the chains on. Are you ready? Nothing. Tell you what, Dad, thanks for the old waterproofs anyway. He's alive, boys. He's alive. Right, switch her off. Start her up. So we made it to the old Mercedes garage, and the fault's on permanently now as well, so I'm going to see if I can see anything.
Look at him, working away out there in the cold. He's a good old lad, really, isn't he? And I tell you what, if he gets it fixed, I'll treat him to some pancakes.
So the good news is they've got it in, and they're having a look at it, and they think they might know what it is. So it's just a waiting game now.
Well, she's fixed, but he didn't fix it, did he? So these are the only pancakes he's getting.
Well, I prefer these kind of pancakes anyway.
Somebody's got their brave pants on today. But anyway, we're back on the road, and it was the bloody EGR valve at fault again. So John's got a long old story to tell you about all the background mechanical details. If you've had enough car chat for one episode, you can skip to this time here. But John said the people are going to want to know.
So the EGR valve, so basically it has a positive from the ECU into a splice, and then the positive then splices off to a load of other sensors, so it shares the feed, and all them sensors run 5 volts. Now what it was when they cut the wire from the splice that goes down to the EGR valve, all the sensors read 5 volts. As soon as they touch that wire back on, it then pulled it down to 3 volts. So whether there's an internal fault in the EGR, or whether because it's blocked it's straining to close or something, I don't know, but that's what the fault was. With the wire off, everything works fine, the engine management lights off and everything like that, so we're all good. Now there's no way I could have fixed that, because the plug that goes to the EGR to unplug it is right on the inside of the engine, so you can't even get to it. The engine ECU had shear bolts on it, so you couldn't even get the plug off the ECU unit, so I'm kind of happy that I couldn't have fixed it, because it makes me feel a bit better. But most of all, it's fixed. And one thing I would say is, I can't thank the engineers enough that worked on it. They were absolutely brilliant, and both garages went to had work on, but they dropped everything they were doing to help us. So good old Norwegian garages. So we're sorry that this week's been a bit of a boring one, really.
Yeah, well, the weather and the van have had other ideas.
Well, Lofoten was probably the most we were looking forward to in this trip, but with the rain and all the cloud and everything like that, it's just turned grim.
Yeah,
so.
you can't even see the mountains because they're literally covered in the clouds.
Yeah.
So yeah,
and
it's not great.
with the rain, obviously everything's turned to ice, and that was sketchy as the other day.
It's
like
lethal.
when we slid back down that hill, it sort of gave us a bit of a wake-up call, because up till now I was thinking, what's everyone on about? You know what I mean? You get loads of traction. You don't on ice, anyway.
Yeah, we were talking about it actually, and we were saying it feels like the difference between, like, if you wet an ice cube and then try and hold it, it like flicks out your fingers, doesn't it? But you know that frost you get in your freezer, if you put your fingers on that, it's well grippy. That's kind of the difference between what it feels like under your feet and under the wheels.
Normally with the ice, they groove it. They've got a blade on the front of the snowplow, and they groove the ice, so that's where you get your grip. But obviously when it rains, it just smooths it all out.
Yeah.
So we need to head inland to try and find some snow again.
Well, and they're saying there's flooding coming as well in like Tromsø and things like that. So we're going to head to Sweden. So make sure you come back next week, because that's where you'll find us. But before we go, we wanted to say, Pete Griffith, you're a legend, and we hope you get well soon, mate.
See you next week.